The original plan was to film out here on a dock, but it's too windy. Then I thought, hey, why not film up in the house? But it's too many people. And so, gentlemen, we are going to have to go old school Alpha M vlog. I'm talking, we're going to the car. All right, so, nope. What about, nope. Gentlemen, welcome back to the Tiege Hanley Starting a Business, Building a Brand vlog. This one, big number 216. So as you can see, we are not in the normal Alpha M studios. We are coming live from, where the hell are we? We're in Seneca, South Carolina. Yesterday, I went to see the Biltmore. I've been here for, this is the third day, last day. Don't tell my wife. But it's been nice. Actually, I'm filming this on New Year's Eve. Gentlemen, I just want to say thank you. First and foremost, thank you so much for making 2019 the best year yet in terms of just really feeling happy and fulfilled. Doesn't mean that it was an easy year. This year was actually a more challenging year for me personally. Professionally, had some challenges, but you know, all things considered, it's been amazing. But the real reason why it's amazing is because of you. The Tiege Hanley vlog, I never envisioned that it would mean so much to me. When we started this thing, you know, 216 episodes ago, it was just like, hey, let me talk about building a business and starting a brand. But it's become a lot more to me, and this is kind of like my outlet, and I just love this connection and the relationship that I have with you guys, and the fact that you've been so supportive of me and Tiege Hanley is pretty amazing. And you'll have to also I should apologize if the camera is rocking. Maybe I'll zoom in a little bit. The hat is because of this, and it's kind of cold up here. All right, so this vlog is definitely a little bit outside of the box, but you got to do what you got to do. Honestly, I was like dying to come and create some content. I have been off for a few days now, and I'm going a little bit stir crazy. Tomorrow is New Year's Day, and we're leaving at like 6 a.m. Get home. It'll take like 2 hours to get home to Atlanta, and I'm ready to work. I'm ready to go running. I've also been sick. Man, I've been sick for like 5 days. I guess I'm giving you a little personal update for the first part of this vlog. So something interesting that is definitely business related is something that we did yesterday. It was really cool. If you ever have the opportunity, we went and toured the Biltmore in Asheville, South Carolina. Asheville, for those of you who've never been, is a super charming, quaint town that is, I think they've got the most like microbreweries in the country. So for you guys out there that like a good microbrewery, they definitely have a ton of them. But something else that is just something I've never done, I always wanted to, was go and tour the Biltmore. The Biltmore was built. It's a huge house. It's actually, I think we looked yesterday, it is the #1 largest home in the U.S. I think it's number 3, only third to, I think, Buckingham Palace and what else? There's some like Indian prince or Indian businessman who's got like a 16th floor like skyscraper all to himself. But the deal is this. The Biltmore is a magnificent experience. It is a giant house. They've got like 200 rooms. They've got like 47 bathrooms. It's just incredible. It was built by a gentleman by the name of George Vanderbilt. Now, Vanderbilt, you're thinking to yourself, yo, isn't that the dude who started like the railroad industry in the U.S.? And the answer is yes, it is. But what I found out yesterday, which blew my mind, honestly, the most shocking thing, was that it wasn't like the Vanderbilt that started the whole like railroad thing. Well, I thought that the guy who built this house, this big major mega mansion on this incredible like 127,000 acres overlooking the Smoky Mountains, I'm talking like breathtaking doesn't even do it justice. But I thought this whole time that Vanderbilt, there's an incredible series that I think the History Channel put on or did a few years ago. It's called The Men Who Made America, or The Men Who Built America. And it's like Rockefeller, Vanderbilt, Edison, Carnegie, like all the like pivotal guys that back in the day sort of just were like visionaries and just really were the driving forces to the industrialization of the U.S. Anyway, and honestly, like the world. So one of the guys that the History Channel sort of featured was Vanderbilt. And I always thought, whenever I heard that Vanderbilt built this mega mansion, I always thought that it was the guy that started sort of the railroad industry. Cornelius Vanderbilt. So listen to this incredible entrepreneurial story. He took a $100 loan back in like the early 1800s from his mother, right? $100. Back then, like tons of money. He turned it into a $100 million fortune. When he died, he passed it down to his son. And then his son doubled the fortune in his lifetime. So it took it from like 100 million to like 200 million. And then the father, he basically gave like his sons, he had like 8 sons or 8 kids, and he distributed the family fortune between like all of the sons or all of the kids. His youngest son, George Vanderbilt. George Vanderbilt inherited like millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. And he's the one who took his fortune and built this Biltmore estate. And when I found that out, I was so disappointed. I'm like, wait a second. So you're telling me the dude who built this monstrosity of a house, this palace for himself, was basically just nothing but a rich grandkid? George Vanderbilt was just a spoiled rich kid who took his fortune and wanted to build himself a giant house. And then his whole life, because he really actually died pretty young. He died when he was like 50. When he moved in the house, he wasn't married. Interesting side note. Anyway, he moves in this house, and all he did was entertain like dignitaries. It was like his job to have like guests come over and like entertain them. And I'm like, wait a second. I'm like, this giant palace. But then it hit me, right? I'm like, you know why? He, the grandson who never actually had to work for anything, is why he built this house. Because Cornelius, aka the Commodore Vanderbilt, the dude who took $100, turned it into $100 million, he would never spend this much money on that house. That house back then cost, I think it was like $6 million, $3 or $6 million back then, and it was like 1900, early 1900s. In today's world, it was like $1 billion. It'd be worth like $1 billion in terms of the amount of money that he spent. The real entrepreneurial story, the grandfather would have never done that for himself. And so I was kind of like, this is just nothing but a spoiled rich kid who decided to spend his money on himself and make everybody think that he's just amazing. And it was like, wait a second. That sucks. So anyway, I found that incredibly amusing and disturbing and just like, huh, who'd have thunk it? I just never knew. But anyway, if you ever get the opportunity and you're in Asheville, you got to go check out the Biltmore. It is impressive. And what I thought and what was the coolest part for me was going down into the basement. And back then, like early 1900s, it was like super tech and like tricked out. It had like a bowling alley. It had a pool with like hot water. It had all sorts of like super cutting edge things back in the day. And it is really impressive. But you know, if that's your thing. Gentlemen, now your business questions. There was a comment that I actually want to read to you that I absolutely love from last vlog. From Mike Y. He said, just need to leave this here. I ran out of Tiege the day before I went on a week-long Christmas trip. My box was scheduled to be delivered while I was away. I went a week having to use my wife's high-end skincare that she paid hundreds and hundreds of dollars for. About 2 days in, I was feeling super greasy and not clean. I would be extremely dry after washing and moisturizing, and then a couple hours later, I would be all oily. I could not wait to get back home to my $40 box of skincare, and my face is now starting to calm the F down. Moral of the story, don't take Tiege for granted. Mike, I love that comment. Thank you, sir. Business question from Alec Schmigleski. What's up, brother? Welcome to my wife's car. Anyway, do you think social media marketing is a bubble that will pop soon? To me, it seems like an incredible way to make money at a young age. So this is a incredible question. Do I think that social media is a bubble? And the answer is kind of. What we saw a few years ago is that when the whole like social media, like influencer word sort of popped up, there were a crap ton of brands that just started like throwing money at people just because they had a large audience. Well, since then, the tracking has gotten a lot better, and the ability to figure out who's working, who's not working, what platform is working, what's not working, has gotten a lot better. And so before, it used to be, hey, just pay somebody who had a lot of subscribers. Well, now it's gotten a lot trickier. And I really feel like a lot of the influencers that were making a lot of money before that didn't really convert well for these platforms. I think they're not going to continue to make as much money as they used to. But I don't think influencer or social media is going away in terms of a platform. I kind of feel like that's where we are. I feel like it used to be, you know, radio, TV, billboards, print ads, and it's shifted over to the internet, obviously. And so I don't think that's going away anytime soon. But I think the spend will shift. The people that do well in terms of conversions, they're going to continue to do well. The people that don't, I don't think they will. But I definitely feel like it's starting to shake out a little bit. The people that did well are going to continue to do well. The people that didn't, you know, they made a little money at first and then they won't. But if you are somebody who is thinking about getting into this to make a living, you know, it's a tough road. A very, 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 very small amount of people that are sort of, you know, social media people make any type of money on it. Most people are just doing it, and eventually they're like, yo, this kind of sucks. I'm not getting rich and famous like I thought I would, and the road is a lot bumpier and the hill steeper to climb. And so is it a bubble? Possibly, but I kind of think it's here to stay. But I definitely think that these companies are going to be more diligent about how they spend. I already see it. I mean, we see it in influential media. There are some influencers that used to do really well and we used to get a lot of deals for, but they didn't convert real well. And so the big companies are like, yeah, we're not spending the money. They're not worth it. There also used to be a lot of people that just because they had a lot of subscribers or views would try and charge a huge amount of money. And if it ain't there, it ain't there. You know, the proof is in the results as opposed to what you see just from a view standpoint and subscribers. Subscribers don't mean anything when it comes to conversions and being effective as an influencer. Next question from Muhammad Ali says, how important is trademark and patent? What is it? How to do it? How much does it cost? So this is better suited for a Google search. Yes, I'll just answer your first question. Is it important? The answer is yes, 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 yes. Tiege Hanley has had to defend its trademarks on numerous occasions, all over the place, from big companies to small companies. If you have a business, it is not very expensive to file a trademark. It's super affordable, to be completely honest. And the protection is something that you need. I mean, you don't want to be in a situation where somebody else, you know, thinks they've got a great name or great slogan or whatever, and they don't, and you don't trademark it, they do, and then they come back and say, hey, you can't use that, and you've got to change. It's worth the money, it's worth the research in order to get whatever you're thinking trademarked. Yes, 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 yes. Next question comes from our friend Glenn Mir Lantigua. How do you go about finding the right soap manufacturer? Google. Once again, it's about just going, searching for soap manufacturer, private label soap manufacturer. If you are starting a soap company and you're just going to want to order like a small amount, you definitely should probably look into private label, where there are companies that will just stamp your label or logo on an existing product. You get to test a bunch, figure out what's right for you, if you like any. If you do then find a company that does that, typically the private label soap manufacturers will also do custom, but custom is going to be a lot larger. You know, there are a lot of labs out there, but you just need to do your research and find the one that's going to be right for you. Business question from Bryce Rogers says, what if you start to notice a decline in the enthusiasm or interest of your business partners? Luckily, we are in the early stages, but also this is most critical time to be passionate. My partner really believes in the project, yet we haven't been emotionally invested lately. This is an incredible question, and it really boils down to staying focused and motivated. Motivation is one of those things where it comes from within. A lot of times as an entrepreneur, when everything's like just starting, it's exciting. When things are moving in the right direction, it's awesome, right? You're like pumped up. Everybody's like, yeah, this is awesome. But there comes a time in every business, multiple times in your business, where things aren't like super exciting and it's just you in the trenches doing the work. It's this time that is the most critical, because it's easy to stay excited when things are fresh, when they're new, when things are going well. But when things are challenging, when times aren't just like amazingly awesome, it's hard sometimes to stay focused. And when you have partners, like I said, I didn't say this yet, but it's also important to make sure that all of your partners are on the same page and wavelength. The beautiful thing about me, Rob Kelly, is that we all believe in Tiege Hanley with every ounce of our being. And we all are motivated for a common goal. We want to change the face of men's skincare. We want to help guys look and feel amazing. We are so passionate about this. And from day one, it's been a ride. It's been exciting for us. Now, that being said, I'm not going to lie. I'm actually going to be honest with you. Sometimes there have been a few occasions, maybe like 2 or 3 in the course of the past like 4.5 years, where I have gotten sort of discouraged about certain things one way or the other. Maybe I was upset at a decision that was made from our company, or that Rob and Kelly wanted to do that I wasn't like 100% on board with. It hasn't been all, roses and moisturized skin. I mean, we have had disagreements. We have had hard times. And it's about really just pulling yourself up and patting yourself on the back like, okay, time to be a man and make shit happen and not wallow in self-pity. And even me, you might not realize this, but, I sometimes will, do the whole like pity party thing for myself for a minute. It typically doesn't take very long for me to snap out of it. But for me, it's about putting things in perspective and realizing that this is something that I've worked my nuts off for, that we all have. And there's a lot riding on it. We've got not only myself, Rob, and Kelly, we've got a team that believes in the vision, that believe in us, that we are working for. It's not just you, it's our team that we have sort of gotten to drink the Tiege Kool-Aid. Our team is so amazing. It's hard for me to put into words. And I honestly get choked up when I'm around everybody and I just see the caliber and level that everybody is operating on. It's nothing that I've ever experienced before. The Tiege Hanley team is like next level amazing. The corporate culture that we are trying, and Kelly specifically has been facilitating at Tiege Hanley, has been something that's special. But we all work super hard and we're doing it for them as well. And so whenever I sort of get in these like funks, I realize that it's me being selfish, to be completely honest. And usually as soon as I identify that, I can get myself out of it. But it happens to the best of us. You just got to sort of keep working and keep your eye on the prize and realize that you are going to have varying degrees of intensity and excitement, but you just got to keep working and keep doing the work, gentlemen. That's what it's all about. Work your ass off. And last, but certainly not least, the last business question comes from our friend Kadar Awad. He says, as you said, it takes a while before you can really go full time and make a living on YouTube. When you first started making Alpha M YouTube videos, how were you making enough money to pay your bills? Was Alpha M just part-time job back then? Alpha M wasn't even, the YouTube channel wasn't even a job. It was just something that I enjoyed doing. There wasn't even an idea that I was going to make a living off of it. It didn't, I mean, seriously, like, people forget this, but I've been doing YouTube for 11 years. I started in 2008. And so for the first, like, I don't know, probably like 500-600 videos that I did, there was no like revenue, there was no anything. I know that when I got to like 10,000 subscribers, because back then you needed to apply to be like a YouTube partner. And once you got approved, then you could start making revenue on the videos. Before then, you couldn't make any money on the videos. And it was before the whole like e-product thing or services thing. It was just me making video and content. And so, yeah, I was personal training. Back then, it was after my fitness center failed. I started doing the image consulting, but that was sort of part-time and sort of one off and two off, and once in a while I'd get a client. But yeah, YouTube when I started was just something that I loved doing. It was definitely not even a job. It was just something I loved doing. It took years and years and years before I actually made a buck on YouTube, but it's different now. Today, it's definitely not that way. But I would say that I keep going back to this. I know that the focus with YouTube a lot has been on money and making money. That is the wrong reason to start uploading content and videos. If that's sort of like your goal, I just don't think you're going to be successful. It's got to be because you've got something to say, you've got a passion, because people can sniff out when you are inauthentic. And I think that when people are just doing it and starting it and trying to make money and be a super successful like influencer. I just think it's transparent and you can see. And those people I just don't feel will ever really truly be successful. It's the people that connect. It's the people that have a vision or a voice and just want to talk to people. And if you've got something to say, I'm telling you, it will find its audience. Don't worry about being perfect. Don't worry about your environment. Just get it out there. The hardest thing to do with YouTube is just start. So if you want to do it, just start. That's the best advice I can give you. Gentlemen, that's it. What'd you think? If you like this old school, like kind of ghetto setup, why don't you drop us one of these? Gentlemen, here's the deal. If you have a business question, down in the comments, start it with business question and ask it. Next week, we'll get to some more. I will also give you some updates moving in to 2020, what you can expect from your beloved Tiege Hanley. And as always, guys, we love you more than what? Exactly. Our double monk strap shoes. Guys, thanks for watching. Happy New Year, and let's kick 2020's ass so hard it is ridiculous.